Could be.
while also realizing that his fans and the women he dated on the show may have questions.
So many people were cheering you on and
A little
wanting you to
bit.
find love, and now they may feel that you misled the public
I
and
guess so.
misled those women for next season.
Yep.
How do you address people who feel that way?
I would understand why they think that way. And I mean, I thought a lot about
Is
this
it?
too. Of, do I regret being the Bachelor, and do I regret handling it the way that I did? I do. I do think I could have handled it better. I'll say that.
How so?
I just
Well,
wish I wouldn't have
tell
dragged
her-
people into my own
what's your
mess of
name?
figuring out who I was. I
It's hard to
genuinely
tell.
mean that. But I also, at the same time, like, that I can sit here and say I'm sorry to all of them. I can also say thank you. Because without them,
I think
and
it
without
was.
the Bachelor franchise, I don't
I'm
know
not
if
sure.
this would have ever came out.
Colton also sharing a message for Cassie, the woman he jumped the fence for on The Bachelor.
Open the fence, guys, open the fence.
Their relationship ending tumultuously last year. Cassie filing and then dropping a restraining order against him.
I would like to say sorry for how things ended. I messed up. I made a lot of bad choices.
Were you in love with Cassie?
Yes. I mean, and that only made it harder and more confusing for me. If I'm being very honest, I loved everything about her. And it's hard for me to articulate
Me too.
exactly what my emotions were in going through that relationship with her was. Because I obviously had an internal fight going on. I would just say that I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart. I'm sorry for any pain and emotional stress I caused. I wish it wouldn't have happened the way it did. I wish that I would have been courageous enough to
Can you give me a minute?
fix myself before I broke anybody else.
A weight now lifted
Challenger.
as he steps into his full self
Challenger.
after a lifelong personal battle with his sexuality, a
Right.
truth he previously denied.
I literally remember praying to God the morning I
You-
found out
a
that I was
little
a
bit,
bachelor
but
and thanking
I don't
him for
know.
making me straight. I remember that
really?
vividly and saying like,
See,
finally you're letting me
okay.
be straight. Finally you're giving me a wife, a fiance, and then I'm gonna have the kids, and then I'm gonna have the house, and then I'm gonna have all this. I've known that I've been different since the age of 6. And I couldn't process it, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was until high school, my freshman year, when I knew I was gay. And by that time, I had already grown up in the Catholic Church. I had gone to Catholic grade school. I had learned in the Bible that gay is a sin. I had made mistakes in my sports and in my athletic career, and when you make mistakes, that play was gay or that was bad, and gay was always affiliated with a connotation of negativity. And I think there's a lot of things when I look back, I'm like, no wonder I was gay.
Some of the people that you told are the very people that, as you said, like you played football with, or friends who used a negative term
Yeah.
about being gay, and when you came out to them, what was the response from them?
You know, I've had sort of a range of responses, and the underlining most common one was almost like, I wish you would have told me sooner. And when I hear that, I wish I would have had faith in my friends and my family a little bit more. My dad, I told him, his reaction was sort of the same, like, I wish you would have trusted me sooner. But then he followed it up with, how can I help you? How can I help take this off your plate? Who can I tell? And like, to me, that was more meaningful than I love you. The only reason I'm sitting down with you today is because I have the love and the support of my friends and my family.
And his dad was there for an interview yesterday, sharing every emotion with his son, saying how proud he is of him. And, you know, for him to admit, like, he's not trying to make any excuses for his behavior. He said anything, he could say things, but it would just be seen as excuses. But he flat out said, like, he should have been courageous enough to fix himself before he broke anybody else and before dragging other people into, as he put it, his mess. But 2020,
really sincerely absorbed all those lessons.
yeah, he's really taken the time, George, and owning up to it, and to have the family support, because that's not that way for everyone, especially coming from football and his Catholic background and all of that.
Can you imagine how tough it was for him to come out and do it publicly with you. So I'm courageous, and my hat's off to him.
And he has much more that he wants to share. We'll have more of
It is a
the
multiple
interview
market,
in
ain't it?
our next hour. Thank you, gentlemen.
I'm
Well, now
sorry,
we
I
have
just
we're going to see our GMA
didn't pay that much
more
attention.
of our exclusive with the Bachelor star, Colton Underwood, finally admitting to the world and more importantly,
learned about it on
the
the
truth
movie.
about his sexuality, how it has impacted his relationship with God, and what he would say to others about speaking their truth.
I'm still the same Colton everybody met.
Doesn't matter.
I'm still the same
I don't
Colton
understand it.
to my friends and my family. I just happen to
Ponzi,
be
multi-level
able to
market.
share with people now all
That's
of
what
me, and
the company's trying to sell
I
me.
am proud of that.
That's what Bobby was trying to sell Rich. Bird.
For former Bachelor Colton Underwood, the journey of defining and
The last
embracing who
1,000
he
that we
is
had.
has not been easy.
One thing
I convinced him not to.
being labeled the Virgin Bachelor is I fully was a virgin before that, and I could never give anybody a good enough answer of why I was a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
The truth is, I was a virgin bachelor because I was gay, and I didn't know how to handle it.
When you're not living your full self, and you're always, like, not necessarily on guard, but there's a heaviness to it. How did you manage that?
I didn't manage it well. I put myself in really bad situations on purpose. I put myself in these situations so I could try to force
I
myself to
don't
be
know, I
straight.
tucked my hand under
I
my
still
pillow or something.
say thank you for making me bachelor, but we got there in a roundabout way of like finally I am healthy, but I am healthy and happy because of moments like that.
Were there specific things that you were able to do this past year to help you
I don't
get to
look
this
here.
point?
Taylor's a
I
good guy
bought a
or
home
not.
in Denver.
I don't expect to see him anymore.
I settled down there. I had my family
Yeah.
there. I got closer to God this year.
Taylor cheated on you.
I know
Yeah.
even saying that now as a gay man, people would be like, how is that even possible? It's like, I don't think unless you
Just 'cause I
understand.
cheat on
I
you.
used to wake up in the morning and pray for
You're
him to
allowed
take the
to do
gay
that.
away. I used to pray for him to change me.
Who cares?
And I can now wake up and pray to God, and I can actually have faith, and I can go into church and be present, not have it be conditional on this
Colton Underwood.
topic of take this off my plate and I'll still worship you and I'll still be there. You know, it's more, I'm closer to him, and that's helped, to be honest with you.
Colton says he knew he was different when he was 6 years old.
Singer.
What was it that made you, at that tender age, think that you were different?
When I was around other people, I just felt different, and I didn't know what that meant, and I
Yes, I
didn't
know
know,
that.
like, am I more emotional than the other
I don't
boys in
know.
my class? That's a lot of thinking to do at such a young age, of like trying to figure out what that was. And then in high school, it all made sense. I mean, I was more attracted
Losing
to
the Kennedys
boys
for me
and men
believing in
than
them
the women and
is
the
Carla
females,
Pig's
and
#1
I was told by society,
horror
that's why
scenario.
don't do that.
She's got a
Today,
big
Colton
pimple
knows he's free to love
where
who
it
he
comes
wants,
to
and is
Hillary
taking it
Clinton.
Day by day.
What are you looking for?
I'm not supposed to think Hillary's a good guy or Bill's a good guy. The truth is I don't know.
I still have a lot to work through, and I'll just go on record saying like I still haven't had like an emotional connection.
I don't know how they did it
about
or
myself too, and
how it's done.
it's never been sort of in my cards to let myself get there, and I want to more than anything.
Carla Pig's got a big one on Hillary
Who can push
Clinton.
me and challenge me in all the great ways.
There's probably a young person, probably maybe a young football player, who's listening to you.
They got a big one on Elie
What
Wiesel.
do you say to someone who is struggling to speak their truth?
Why would it matter?
I still have a long ways to go. I'm still.
Night was a
maybe if
beautiful
I
book.
had to
It
go
is a
back and
beautiful
give
book as
anybody
far as I
advice,
know.
mean,
Hasn't been changed.
you're gonna get through it, is what I would tell myself. Keep
God.
fighting for you. Keep choosing you every morning.
I'm not God. As far as I know, I don't judge souls.
When the time's right and you're ready,
Whatever. Dumb fuck.
do it on your own time.
And that's exactly what Colton has done. I gotta tell you, I spent a little bit over an hour with him yesterday. And the difference between when I first saw him and when I said goodbye, just again, the relief of speaking his truth, of expressing himself, and giving the reasons why
They didn't
God,
say.
church,
Bernie Madoff is
and
dead. I'll look it
and
up.
I shared with him something that my mother said.
He died in prison.
When I told her about my sexuality, that I'm gay, and she said, God
Something
loves you
about
because
pulling
of
the
who he
trigger.
is, not because of anything you do or don't do. And
I
that
don't
is
know what it
something that
means.
A lot of Christian gays struggle with. When you say that people look to you and say, how can you be a Christian and how can you be gay? And that's part of the reason why Colton was so reluctant
Well, it seems to
come
be
forward.
a stronger Christian according to his own
Yeah.
testimony.
Yes, now he says he's more present when he's in church. It has helped him
Carla
to
Pig
have
says she
a stronger relationship, but I
arranged
appreciate the
for
fact
no
that- and I
souls
wanted-
to
I
be
didn't want to do it on
going to
Zoom.
heaven.
I wanted to do this conversation in person.
And she doesn't
And you
want
can see,
anyone
more of my
to.
conversation with Colton tonight on Nightline here on ABC.
I'll look it up.
Major developments in the cold case of Kristen Smart, the college student who went missing nearly 25 years ago. The two men have been arrested, including a fellow student last seen with her, and police are crediting a podcast with the breaking of the case. Amy has the details. Good morning.
That's right, George.
Elizabeth
After
Smart.
years of calling Paul Flores a prime suspect, police finally arrested him for murder. His father, Ruben, arrested as an accessory to murder.
There's a
And this morning, a search
Kristen
on his
Smart.
property for Kristen's body as her family hopes to finally
There was
find
a
some closure.
Smart kid. Last
This morning,
name Elizabeth
Paul
Smart.
Flores waking up behind bars, accused of murdering college student Kristen Smart nearly 25 years ago. Flores has been under suspicion since Smart disappeared back in May of 1996. He was the last person spotted with the 19-year-old,
Whatever.
seen walking her home from a party
I
at
didn't like
California
that.
Polytech State University in San Luis Obispo the night she went missing.
Paul remained as a person of interest, and as the case progressed, became a suspect and the prime suspect of the case. Detectives secured a court order authorizing the interception and monitoring of Paul Flores' cell phone and text messages.
On Tuesday, police also arresting Paul's father, Ruben, as an accessory, searching the 80-year-old's property last month with cadaver dogs and using ground-penetrating radars. Police say they found evidence there, but have still not found her body. Smart's family has been hoping for answers for decades.
It's definitely been tough. We don't have closure. We don't know what's happened, and it's been 20 years.
Police say the popular podcast, Your Own Backyard, which shed a new light on Smart's disappearance, helped lead them to the arrests.
Part of the reason that I first got involved with telling the story of Kristen Smart was that things had been too quiet.
Well, let's see. The
podcast
biggest news
introducing
is
new witnesses in the case,
to
including
Donna
one
Jean
woman who
Valkmer
said she spoke to
Lansberg that
Ruben's
Bernie
wife
Madoff
after
died,
Smart disappeared.
I worked
and
with
something
her,
about
and
pulling the
she
trigger.
shared with me that Ruben
And then Carla
in the middle
Pig
of the
is in a
night
panic
had
about
gotten a phone call, and
Hillary Clinton maybe going to heaven
took off.
or being a good person,
She was
which
very
I don't
concerned
know.
by that.
I don't know.
Waiting for this for way too long, but it's also
I
so
appreciated
real,
that
it's hard to
she
take it all in.
has
This
fought
morning,
for
Smart's family
children.
calling the arrests
I
bittersweet,
appreciated that she used
saying
all
it
her
is
brains
impossible
to try to
put
come up
words
with
what
a
this day means for our family. We pray it is the
alternative
first step
medical
to bringing
system
our daughter
during
home.
the Bill Clinton
Paul
administration.
remains behind bars with no bail. His arraignment is scheduled for tomorrow, and Ruben's bail was set at $250,000.
I don't know what. I don't think it had a
We reached
label,
out, but the Flores family is not speaking right
but
now.
it
and
was
Paul's attorney
more
says they will not comment
towards
on
universal
ongoing
health care.
litigation. Guys, back to you.
She worked hard. She worked hard. She worked hard. She worked hard, and then the whole thing was scrapped by probably the Republicans.
Police to solving these cases.
So anyway, I'll upload this.